Chad here, and welcome back to another Rally with Rolly video. In this video, I'm going to go over my experience with this 2020 WR250F that I've set up as a dual sport adventure bike. I'll go over my pros, my cons, I'll touch on my setup, my repairs, maintenance, and then I'll give you my overall opinion about using this WR250F as a dual sport adventure bike. Stay tuned. Quick history about how I ended up with the 250F as a dual sport bike. My buddy had a 2019 TW200. Shout out to the TW crew. Anyways, he showed up, put me on his bike, ran around the street just on the pavement, and fell in love with it. Thought I had to, just wanted to get a dual sport bike. So went to a dealership, looked for used ones, nothing available. I mean, due to COVID and all that stuff. Then I decided the TW probably wasn't enough bike for my style of riding. And then I set my sights on a WR250R, and then due to COVID and the discontinuing of that model, it was hard to find. And then it dawned on me to convert a WR250F, put a street legal kit on it, and convert it to a dual sport bike. All right, first I'm gonna start off with my pros, what I like best about the bike. The power, first of all. It's the 250cc YZ inspired 4-stroke engine, and it's quick, has awesome power. It's awesome for a 250. The suspension, this KYB suspension front and rear, awesome travel, lots of travel. When I first got it, the way it was set up, it was rather stiff, and going through the bumps and stuff was rather jarring and really getting my kidneys. So I took back the clickers off to 0, and boy, it rode like a Cadillac after that, and that's key right there, them clickers. Softened it right up and don't bottom out at all. The weight, I think, is a very important thing. At 254 pounds wet, why I think that is so important is I ride alone a lot, which I know is frowned upon, probably by most of you. But the weight, if I tip over, I'm able to pick this bike up on my own. I won't have to go looking for help to pick up a 500-pound adventure bike like some of you might be riding. So the weight's big, but with how I have it set up, it's obviously going to be more than that. I have no idea how much it weighs. And then get my tent and all my camping gear on here. It's well into the 300-pound range. Next, the fuel mileage. The fuel mileage is pretty darn good with this. With the 2.15 gallon tank, I get anywhere between 50 and 55 miles per gallon, depending on my style of riding. If I'm on the highway, 60 to 65 miles an hour for very long, it really slurps on the fuel. But if I'm on the trails and stuff, or just casually riding, it gets awesome gas mileage. So my range on the tank itself, on the fuel tank, it's about 110 to 120 miles. I better be real close to fuel or I will be walking. But I also pack this 1 gallon roto packs, which gets me another 50 to 55 miles, which it's come in useful more than once. On this, 75 miles an hour is about top speed, and that's with accurately calibrated speedometer. I can get it above 80 miles an hour if I got a good tailwind and downhill, favorable conditions. Next, for my pro is electric start, and the electric start is key, in my opinion, over kickstart, far superior. Some of the obstacles I've encountered and been stalled on and trying to get up and over, I don't know if I would have ever got over them. I've got too tired kickstarting the thing. The electric start, it kind of struggles starting it in gear sometimes. I think the clutch isn't completely releasing, so it's trying to start the engine and move the bike at the same time because the clutch isn't releasing. I've found a little band-aid for that. I've got a little video for that. All I've done is turn up the idle. It's helped a ton. I've had some suggestions. LED headlight, which I think would help a little bit because the headlight wouldn't be drawing power, and more power could be going to the start motor to maybe get it started. And then lithium battery, which I think would help immensely. It's got a quick look up, a lithium battery has almost double the cranking amps as this lead acid battery that came with it. That's my pros. Now for the cons. But my cons are only as the bike is set up. So I've set it up this way, and this is the only things I'd change if I could. The first con is there is no odometer. There's in the gauge cluster, there is 2 tripometers, a speedometer, and it has a clock. But it will not continuously keep track of the miles. When each tripometer gets to 1,000 miles, it just rolls over to 0 and starts again. So how I keep track of my miles is in the back of the service manual on the notes page. I just write down everything I have completed to the bike. It currently has 5,524 miles on the bike, and it's been great. It's been awesome. So that's my one con. The other con I would say is the tractor factor. And when I say tractor factor, that is how slow it is able to crawl without stalling the engine on technical trails or obstacles. I wish it would crawl just a little bit slower. I've learned how to hit obstacles a little faster than I used to be comfortable with and just get through them, but I just wish it had a better tractor factor. And other than that, that is my only 2 cons. Now I do have a short list of cons that I could see might be a con to some other people out there. The first thing is it is not factory street legal. So in my location, I'm fortunate enough I can just add a street legal kit and make it street legal and away I go. So check your local laws, make sure that's something you can do where you live, yeah, go from there. Another thing I would see is that it does not come with DOT tires. So that's tires you need to be technically street legal would be another con. Another thing is the seat height. It kind of has a little bit, it's a little tall in the saddle. The way I've adjusted the suspension, it's lowered it a little bit, and it's good for me. I'm about 5'10", 32 inseam, and it feels just right for me. My feet are on the ground. If I stop on flat ground, I can put my feet down and maybe just barely my heels off the ground, but my toes are on the ground anyways. Another con is there is no subframe under this thing. So I mean, from about here back, it is all plastic fender, and I could not find a top rack for this specific model year, an aftermarket top rack for hauling gear and stuff. But these Tusk excursion bags turned out to be awesome. The way I've installed them and mounted the roto packs on, and then I can put my camping gear here. I can strap my coat on here if I'm not using it, and just, yeah, away I go. Another con would be the comfort of the stock seat. I've put the seat concept seat on in place of the stock seat. It is way more gooder than the factory seat is for adventures as a dual sport bike. Another one would be the oil change intervals. They're kind of regular. I do this at every 500 miles, which is not bad, and it holds 1 quart of oil. Approximately $5 for a quart of oil, $5 for the filter. That's basic oil change. And then the valve clearance, the high performance engine requires a little bit more TLC and checkups and maintenance. I've checked the valve clearance twice since 0 miles, and now with the approximately 5,500 miles, the valves are still in spec, so I have not adjusted them. The last con I'd say is the price. It's kind of pricey compared to typical dual sport dirt bikes. You can get a good dual sport bike, the TW200s or the CRF 250Ls in the $5,000 and $6,000 range, where this one's getting close to the $8,000 to $9,000 range, and then you got to set it up street legal, so it 9,000 plus to get there. That would be a more real world comprehensive con list, I would say. As far as maintenance and repair, it hasn't been all that bad at all. I mean, I kind of went over the oil changes, they're kind of regular. The valve clearance check, I've done that a couple times, not as much as the manual suggests to do it, but it's still been in spec. I lube the chain regularly, almost every ride, and then just properly inflated tires, prevent unexpected flats or unnecessary flats. Just check the bike over, and then anything that needs attention, I'd give it attention. And then the only repairs I have done on the bike that weren't self-inflicted was the fork seals. and you know, I never changed out fork seals before. Just studied that a little bit, referenced the owner's manual and some YouTube tutorials, and replaced the fork seals. And so far so good on that. So maintenance has not been that big a deal. Well, I've been rallying this bike for a little over a year and a half as a dual sport bike. That's why I bought it. That's the purpose I bought it for. Built it, been happy with it, happy as can be. The adventures I've had with my friends, the places I've seen and went, the people I've met along the way, it's just been absolutely priceless, and it's been awesome. In my opinion, this WR250F set up the way I've set it up is the best dual sport bike I could have got for myself. Now, I would like to have a little more experience around two-stroke bikes. My understanding is maybe they get 25 to 30 miles a gallon at best. So cut my range basically in half with my fuel mileage. I like to go, get miles in and see what I can see and adventure. You think a different bike might be better for my style of riding? I've put lots of videos up. You can go check out what I like to do, how I like to ride, the places I go. Leave a post in the comments. Coming up, future videos, gonna go explore a vertical mine shaft. Gonna drop the camera down it. I've been gathering up some supplies, kind of looking forward to doing it. Right now the trails and the hills are too snowy to get there on a bike, and might make for an adventure, but might need a snowmobile to get there right now. As soon as we can get there on the bikes, we'll go up there, scatter down, you know, whoever we can get, we'll go up there, go on an adventure back into that mine. You can check out the gold mine video. I've got the shafts on there, but you know, we're gonna drop a camera down the shaft and see what's at the bottom. If you found this video useful, click the thumbs up. If you like this kind of stuff and want to see the adventures where I go, that vertical mine shaft coming up, click the notification bell. Also, subscribe. It's free. Just hit that subscribe button. That'd be awesome. And as always, go adventure and go rally. Here's a quick and brief spec comparison, the WR250F compared to the WR250R. The F retail for this 2020 was $85.99. The R, $66.99. They both have a 6-speed transmission. The suspension on the F, this one here, has 12.2 inches of travel in the front and 12.5 inches in the rear, as the R has 10.6 inches front and rear. The fuel capacity on the F is 2.15 gallons, and I am getting about 50 to 55 miles per gallon with this machine. The R has a 2-gallon gas tank, and it, I guess, gets around 70 miles per gallon. The seat height on the F is 37.6 inches, and the seat height on the R is 36.6, so you have an inch lower seat height with the R. And the wet weight is where this one really shines. This one is 254 pounds wet. That means fuel, oils, antifreeze. The R, however, is 295 pounds, which is 41 pounds heavier than this here F.